What up, Fishtank people? FishtankTV.com, Dustin's Fishtanks, bringing it to you on a Sunday, baby. It's Species Sunday, and I got my daughter Maya yelling in the mix just like her dad.
What's up, Fish Tank people? Dustin's Fish Tanks bringing it to you on a Sunday, baby. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. In today's video, we're going to be talking about balance. We're going to talk about my most balanced tank of all time. And we're going to talk about one of my least most balanced tanks of all times. It's time to get balanced, baby. You hear it all the time. I want a fish tank, but it's too much work for me. Today, I'm going to talk about how to make it almost no work, or if you do it wrong, how it will almost always be work. First, I want to unpack the failures of the no maintenance tank. There is no such thing as a no maintenance tank, but we can certainly get away with less maintenance in our aquarium if we know what we are doing and we are balanced. Let's talk about the no maintenance tank. From the jump, and little did I know that the no maintenance tank was going to be doomed to be a failure from the start. One simple reoccurring reason. The lights never went off, the sun never set on the low maintenance skank. I don't care how many plants you have. If you never have total darkness, it's almost impossible not to get algae. The lights in the hallway were always on, and we always had algae. Note, if you are battling algae, I do show the positive effects of a 4-day blackout to kill aquarium plant algae in the no maintenance tank series, so you are going to want to check that out. But enough about a skank tank. What about the most balanced tank I set up of all time? Let's talk about that next. This is my old 75 I had in my basement. This is where we learned about highlights, balance, and herpes. Here is the sauce for a balanced planted aquarium. Rule 1, amass a heavy plant load. What does this tank have in common with some of my other more successful planted aquariums? A heavy plant load. This is my old 220 with a heavy plant load. This is my old 125 with a heavy plant load. This is my old 90 gallon with a heavy plant load. And yes, folks, these were all dirted. Shocker, right? Here comes the correlation. If you want a heavy plant load, you need a heavy plant food load. Yes, folks, your boy Dustin uses dirt in almost all of his planted aquariums. Why? Because plants absorb 400 to 400 times more nutrients through their roots than through their stems and leaves. Yes, I can eat a noodle through my nose, but it is much more efficient to eat it with my mouth. Give your plants a ton to eat and they will grow like crazy. I have an entire blog on this on our website that I will link up in the comments as well. You can read about. I've got plenty of videos about how to dirt a planted aquarium. The quick and simple with it is this. This aquarium used 1 inch of dirt with clay in it, and I used Estes, I think it's Peace River Sand over top of it. It was just slightly smaller than BB gun size BB gravel. In this aquarium, unlike a lot of other aquariums though, I was able to obtain a high plant load using primarily foreground plants. So let's unpack the plants for just a second. The secret sauce to this aquarium was the heavy amounts of both dwarf sage and baby tears, regular baby tears, not dwarf baby tears, growing down into the dirt substrate and running rampantly all throughout this aquarium underneath 4 quad high output T5s. However, there was another kind of control valve involved in this that I think is important. Here comes the herpes. Yes, folks, the aquarium plant that keeps on giving, and like herpes, never goes away once you get it. I'm talking about duckweed on the top of this 75. It's very simple. I had quad high output plant light T5s on top of a heavily dirted, heavily planted substrate, but with too much light and not enough plant growth, I would get algae. However, this tank, I let duckweed go wild. The duckweed would get so thick, it would actually block out the light to the lower plants. But because it is a surface feeding plant with the aerial advantage, it would also absorb any and all excess nutrients in this aquarium, and I hardly ever had algae in it. I would rather scoop out several handfuls of duckweed in about a 15-minute session than day in, day out be battling algae because I did not have enough excess nutrients being absorbed from floating plants. Quick note on this, instead of using duckweed, you could have easily used a frog bit, a water sprite, or water wisteria in place of Z herpes.